Hello again, Experiment Club. So hopefully you soaked your pennies in all the different solutions or fluids or liquids or substances, whatever you want to call it. Maybe some ketchup, some hot sauce, some Coke, citrus juice, vinegar, all the things that were on your lab sheet. Maybe you saw some consistencies in the way that they took the tarnish or the darker color off of the pennies. So what we know is that the oxygen and the air together create something called, copper oxide. And that's what makes the pennies look tarnished. So acid is what breaks down that copper oxide. So if you remember back when we did our pH scale testing, there are certain fluids that are acidic, some that are neutral, and some that are basic. And so we tested a bunch and it would change the color on the pH scale based on if it was an acid or a base. If things got more purple or red, they were acidic. If they got blue and green and yellow, they were basic. And so actually vinegar, which is acetic acid, vinegar actually usually works the best because it helps to break down that copper oxide. Now, one of the extensions that you can do with this if you want is try soaking it in vinegar again, but then put some salt in it. And the salt actually, the chlorine in the salt helps to break down that copper oxide even more. So retest your experiment using just vinegar maybe, and then vinegar and salt, and see how your results vary. Maybe you saw when you soaked some of the pennies in things like ketchup or hot sauce that it cleaned as well as the vinegar. Mine didn't, and I will post a picture on Edmodo of what my pennies ended up looking like. I soaked mine for an hour and a half in all of the different liquids, and then I chose 3 different types of hot sauce. But my penny that got the cleanest was the vinegar penny. And so I would be interested too to redo this experiment and see if vinegar plus salt versus vinegar got the penny even more shiny. Now, if you want to, you could maybe be really nice for your family. Maybe they like clean pennies, and maybe you could just go through and clean all your family's pennies. Just kidding, that probably wouldn't be all that much fun. But it is interesting to see the pennies go from tarnished and dark in color to shiny and bright again. Another thing that you can do with this experiment if you want is you can soak some pennies in water, 2 different groups of pennies starting off the same color. When you take some out of the water or whatever fluid you decide to soak them in, wipe them off to dry them, and then leave some of the pennies moist and let them sit out in, probably not in a very sunny place, in a shady, cool place, and see what happens with them over time, and then try to clean them. So that's one of those extensions that you can do if you'd like. And like I said, if you want to, you can try testing the vinegar and salt. You could try different types of ketchup. You can do a bunch of different experiments here and see what cleans your pennies the best. Next week, we're going to be moving on to a 2-week unit on horticulture or botany, growing things. And so I actually will be in touch soon, and we will talk about that shortly. Hope you guys are doing well. Enjoy the nice sunny weather, and hopefully we can see each other again after this is all done.